let's talk about the Seven Samurai next. All right.
All right. So the classic
Now,
Seven Samurai that's been
Seven
remade. How many?
Samurai,
Yeah.
it was made in 1954. And Seven Samurai was the basis for the famous Western movie by John Sturges called The Magnificent Seven.
Right.
That movie was a landmark in cinematic history and in the history of storytelling because, as far as I know, that is the first time that this big sweeping story had been set on film. Of you got a whole bunch of people who are oppressed by a group of bad guys,
Right.
and a team of heroes is assembled to fight them.
Yes.
And each one of the heroes in the Seven Samurai is an important character. Each one of them brings something to the table, and together this small group defeat the larger group at great personal cost. And this has been repeated over and over and over. There is a film that is I think it's 2011 called 13 Assassins
Yep.
that
13.
that basically repeats the same story, but
So when you start off watching this movie, you understand that not all of these guys are going to make it through the movie, right?
Right.
So ever since then, whenever they've done a remake, the Magnificent Seven or whatever, you understand that these characters that you like, um, they're not going to be they're not going to be around. Not all of them are going to be around.
right,
The original, it was interesting. The Seven Samurai, the the bad guys really had no personality. They were featured as like a force of nature or something. They were just the
right,
bad guy. They didn't
right.
even exist, you know.
Yeah,
And,
because
are they,
Kurosawa did not want the audience interested in the bad guys,
yeah, that's an interesting point.
so he
So
didn't.
when they made the Magnificent Seven, then that Eli Wallach guy, right? He was the
Mhm.
bad guy, if I'm not mistaken, in Magnificent Seven, and he had much more personality, and you had a tendency to he could make it relatable. He was still an evil bad guy, but he could make it a little relatable. The bad guys in the enemy in Seven Samurai are strictly
They're just faceless
they're
bad guys.
they're just faceless bad
You
guys.
know,
Yeah,
and you have some prominent Japanese actors in the that are the two main bad guys, but their characters aren't developed.
no, they're
You
not
know, they
fleshed
would have
out.
been recognizable to the audience at the time, but their characters weren't developed because it wasn't critical to the story. The story's about the good guys. Now, Akira Kurosawa was the director of many, many, many very important Japanese sword movies. Many of them, all with classic scripts. These things are. It was hard for us to pick out one of them to list as the primary one for our top five because Yojimbo, Sanjuro, Rashomon, Ron, Throne of Blood, all of these are just excellent films.
They're
Excellent
important too.
films. Far better
Yojimbo is
than the vast majority of films you find today. And
Yojimbo is an important movie. Yojimbo is a very important movie,
very
right?
important movie.
That character that Clint Eastwood picked up the mantle for, Rashomon, the plot device in Rashomon of the different perspectives, right?
Yes.
The same event viewed from five perspectives,
That's been
and
most recently revisited in The Last Duel, the Ridley
that's right.
Scott movie we just talked about.
Yeah, and
You
the classic like the unreliable narrator, right? If you can't trust the person telling you the story, how the hell are you supposed to figure out what's going on, right?
right?
So those are two devices that I don't know. I don't remember seeing much of them. I don't.
No,